Blackhawk in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We are going to be officially playing the Whitehawk layout, which is the short layout. Now, I made it a goal to play every disc golf course that's publicly accessible in Oklahoma. That's a lot of disc golf courses, so I thought, why not start here? This is a course that I learned how to play on. It's very awesome. So we're at hole 1. This is 285 feet. The basket is straight down this fairway. The basket's out in the middle there, but a lot of trees to hit, so we're going to throw this Lone Star midi. Alright, well, we made it down there ways. Alright, I got kicked off to the right over here. Not bad though. The basket's behind this big tree, so we're going to take this penny and just kind of launch it up there. Not too bad. Alright, we got this left for our par. Oh. That's turning into my catchphrase. Sometimes it's just not meant to be. Alright, this is hole 2 from Whitehawk. It plays from the drop zone on the Blackhawk version. 330, the basket's straight down this fairway. So we're going to take this lariat and go at it. Well, made it down there around the corner. We should have a pretty simple upshot. Here's where my drive landed. We're gonna just putt at this with our penny. Gotta watch out for these low-hanging branches. Almost rang it up. Let's go tap in that par. All right, now if I miss this one, please flame me in the comments. There we go. That's a par on hole 2. All right, we're at hole 3 at Whitehawk. So this hole 340 according to UDisc. You go straight down this fairway, then it doglegs off to the right. So I typically throw a forehand here, so I'll throw this Dos X on forehand. One thing about courses like this time of year, the fairway is absolutely covered in leaves. So you really got to watch where your drives land, or else you will end up losing discs. And I would nail one of the only trees on that side of the fairway, but it's in the middle, not bad. All right, we made it to our drive. Even with the tree hit, not bad. It lined us up with the basket. The basket is just right past that big tree. We're gonna try to float a little forehand, any forehand up there. That's a little short, but we have a putt for a par. All right, we made it up to my upshot. Let's get this par. There we go. Warming up the putter a little bit. All right, this is hole 4. It's 330. The basket is straight down the fairway here, pushed into the trees. Very rough on the left and the right-hand side. What I'm going to try to do, and hopefully this works, is I'm going to try to throw kind of like an Annie with this Lone Star Tex. It's a 6.5 -3.1, so it is pretty understable. So I'm going to try to flex it along that left-hand side of the fairway. We'll see how it goes. Man, I had the right idea, but I did not throw it hard enough, and I came up way short. But I am in the open, so I guess there is something to be said about that. Drive landed right here. The basket is just a hyzer around the corner. I will say, I'm not gonna sugarcoat any of this. If I throw a bad shot, you're gonna see a bad shot. If I miss a putt, you're gonna see a missed putt. I want this video series to be a true representation of you coming out and joining Matt Dorr on a 18-hole round of disc golf. So I know some creators will, anytime they throw an errant shot, they will like re-tee, or if you miss a 15-foot putt, they will edit it out. You're not going to get any of that with me. This is going to be rather raw on me throwing the shots. So hopefully that is an interest to you, to kind of get an idea of what it would be like to play with me if you were here with me. So again, the ties are around the corner. I'm going to take this horny toad and Founders plastic. It's rather overstable. I'm just going to kind of put it on a hyzer and hopefully it skips over. I came up a little bit short with that, but we should have a look at the basket. Alright, I made it just inside the circle, unfortunately behind this tree. So we're going to have a little bit of a straddle putt. Let's see if we can save this par. Straddle putts have never really been my forte, so we just missed that one. Alright. So that's an unfortunate bogey on hole 4. Alright, so we've made it to hole 5 at Whitehawk. 470. The basket is down, way down there, so it's a par 4. So what you really want to do is try to get around these trees in the middle, and then you'll have a direct shot to the basket, rough on both the right and left hand side, and there's a lot of low hanging trees down there. So I'm going to take this Lone Star Frio and try to swing it out through this wider gap over here and skip around, a little bit around the corner. Alright, well, I made it past the bushel of trees in the middle. I did what I wanted to do. I would have liked to get a little bit longer. I threw it a little low, but it's up there. We made it to our drive. We did make it past the trees. You can see the basket straight down there. A lot of low hanging limbs in the fairway, so I'm going to try to take this Lone Star Houston, pump it out on a hyzer, and hopefully get around it. Forewarning, we are right over by the Tulsa International Airport, and sometimes there are just loud planes all the time. So if you hear that in the background, that's probably what that is. Always check your footing, especially if there's a lot of, woods and trees. You don't want to slip on a stick and roll an ankle. Not bad. If I would have thrown that a little flatter, probably would have got some more distance, but not bad. Here's where my first up shot landed. I'm just short of the basket, but we do have a look. So we are going to try to get this birdie. Oh, just a little long, but we'll have an easy par. That's my par on this par 4, hole 5. All right, this is hole 6. It's an interesting fairway. There's 3 different routes you can take. There's the forehand route on the left side. If you're feeling lucky, there's the middle gap, but there's a bunch of trees down there towards the basket. And there's the right-hand hyzer side. So it's 270 off the tee. I am going to attempt the hyzer side on the right. This is also a Lone Star Wrangler. Oh. Looks like I decided to take the middle route and I hit a tree, but it's out there in the open. All right, right, here's where my drive landed. We have a gap straight to the basket, so I'm just gonna try to launch this penny up there and either get it or get close. Or I'm gonna hit that tree right in front of me. All right, just like I said on hole 4, no do-overs. You saw me make a terrible shot. Now we're gonna try to recover from it. So basket's right there. Let's try to get it. Oh, so close, but we're gonna take a bogey. All right, we've made it to hole 7. Whitehawk and Blackhawk both share this pad. It's 310 to the basket. The basket is basically straight through this gap, just a line drive straight at the basket. So I'm gonna throw this Artemis off the tee and try to get through the gap, and then we'll go from there. Well, we made it through the gap and we got a lucky kick that put us in the open, so not bad. All right, here's where our drive landed. Basket is just, again, just straight up there, so I'm gonna throw this copperhead on a forehand and try to get it up there. Pretty solid. Caught a little bit of a tree, but not bad. All right, going for my par putt. That's a par on hole 7. All right, we made it to hole 8. The Whitehawk pad for hole 8 serves as the drop zone for the Blackhawk pad. There is a OB pond that plays along the right-hand side. The basket is just straight through this gap. I'm gonna throw this harpoon. I haven't thrown it in a really long time. It ended up being a die that I messed up, and then it just went on the shelf. But I put it in the bag just for fun, so I figured if it goes in the pond, it's, you know, not gonna make me cry or anything. So I'm gonna take this harpoon and just throw it straight up the gap, hopefully. I don't remember how it flies. And she's gone. She is gone. I will probably re-tee instead of taking it from out of there. I think it's gone. So I actually got super lucky on this one. It did hit the tree and go towards the pond, but it was on the edge of the slope. It didn't make it into the water. So for safety's sake, I brought it in to where it was hanging over the edge. So we still have a chance for birdie. It's a long one, but it's better than not having one. Oh, almost made it. All right, here's my par putt. And that is a par on hole 8. Easily could have been a bogey if that would have went in the pond. All right, we made it to hole 9 on the Whitehawk layout. The pad's here. There's a little strip of fairway in between the 2 ponds, and the basket is just hanging out there. UDIS says 215. I like to go fairway driver on this one, so I like to put it on a hyzer and try to spike it up there. So I'm going to throw this Bravo Plastic Brazos. Not bad. Left it a little short. Put a lot of hyzer on that, so we'll have a long look for birdie. We made it to my drive. I'd say probably, you know, between 20 and 25 short. Probably could have thrown my drive a little flatter for the extra distance. So let's get this birdie. There we go. That's a birdie on hole 9. All right, we've made it to hole 10. Just like hole 8, hole 10's drop zone from the long layout plays as Whitehawk short pad. So it's a 260-foot hole. The basket is pretty much straight down this fairway. There's a lot of trees on the right hand side. There is a hyzer route if you can manage to make that gap. A lot of people will take this forehand route just like I'm going to do with this Dos X. The OB pond is on this side, so if you do shank it or get a bad tree kick, that could come into play. So I'm going to go forehand Dos X. Awesome, that turned out great. We should be pin high looking at it. All right, we're at hole 11. This tee pad is shared with Blackhawk as well, so both layouts play the same pad. It's 285. The basket is slight dogleg to the right down this fairway. Want to try to keep it in the middle. The rough on either side is kind of rough, so we're gonna again try this Lone Star Tex. I'm gonna try to flip it on Annie down the middle there. Well, I landed in the middle. If it wasn't for smacking that branch, I think that would have been the perfect shot. All right, my drive landed here. We've got the basket right up there. Gonna toss this little forehand copperhead. Oh. I kind of grip locked that a little bit, or late release, whatever you want to call it. Not my best, but we'll work with it. All right, here's my upshot. Basket's right here. Still have a chance to save par. And we saved the par. Good job. All right, we've made it to hole 12. This is a par 4. I believe it's about 460 or 470. You basically want to get down this fairway. It doglegs very slightly to the right and straightens out. The left hand and the right hand side of the fairways are very rough, so the goal is to stay in the middle the whole time. So I'm going to take this Trinity and kind of launch it out on an Annie, and hopefully it'll flex back and land in the middle up there. Awesome, that perfectly landed dead center fairway, so mission accomplished. All right, we made it a good chunk of the fairway, probably at least half. The basket is straight ahead of us. I'm gonna go midi here and kind of slow it down a little bit. Try to make sure I control it. Like I said, you don't want to go off left or right. It's not fun up there. Cool, and that leaves us with a look for the bird. At the very least, easy par. All right, here's where my upshot landed. We've got a look for a birdie. This overhanging branch is kind of in the way. We're just outside of the circle, maybe about, I don't know, 10 or 12 feet outside of the circle. Oh, so close to getting the birdie, but we're gonna go tap in that par. A par on hole 12 feels really good, whether you're playing the Whitehawk or the Blackhawk layout. All right, we're at hole 13. It's a 275-foot shot down this fairway here. The basket is tucked behind the trees to the left, so you kind of want to throw something out straight and let it hyzer and skip off to the left. So I'm going with this Lone Star Spur. Man, that was very close to being a skip ace. It skipped chain high right in front of the basket. So let's go see what we're looking at. So here's my drive. I literally skipped in front of the basket and landed over here. Let's tap in this birdie. All right, well, that's a 2 on hole 13. All right, we made it to hole 14. This is probably the longest hole for Whitehawk. It is par 5, 675, I believe. I could be wrong on that, hopefully not. But the fairway follows this path. It doglegs around the corner to the left, and it goes to where the old hole 15 goes to where the old hole 15 used to be. So I'm going to take this Nimitz, launch it down there, hopefully stay in a position where I can throw it around the corner easily. Oh, that skip at the end did not help. I'm going to be cut off, having to throw probably some sort of utility shot to get through those trees to continue down the fairway. But the distance wasn't bad. So as you can see, I landed here in this little grouping of trees. The basket is still a good, I don't know, 300 plus feet that way, but we need to get back out into the fairway to make the next shots easier. So I'm gonna try my best to throw some sort of Annie forehand standstill with this Lone Star Mad Cat. Also Triple D Disc Golf dyed this, which is me. Looks pretty cool. So we're gonna try this out. Oh, nailed another tree up there. Almost made it all the way out, but we're close. Right, in a world of I wishes and I wants, I wish this would have got through. I wanted it to be perfect. But we landed right here, and I'm basically going to attempt the same shot again. I'm going to throw an Annie forehand around these trees. The basket's straight down this path here. We got a good, again, probably about 300 feet, maybe, give or take. Oh man, we are just messing this hole up. Faded off into the left, so now we're on the other side of the fairway in the trees. Guess I needed to throw something a little less stable. So I actually landed right here. I'm actually on the path to the next hole. You can see the old tee pad is right there. The basket is straight through these trees, but it's super obstructed. So again, I'm gonna try to throw a forehand with this Dos Ex to try to cut it through here and hopefully get us a look. So we threw a Nimitz, 2 Mad Cats. So we're going for our 4th shot right now. We could still par the hole as long as this shot goes as good as I hope it does. All right, well, I hit the gap. It's out there in the middle of the fairway finally, but it is quite short, so we'll see what we're looking at once we get up there. So apparently I lied. Absolutely parked the basket with that last shot. Left myself with a 8-foot putt. So let's get this par. There we go. Managed to save par on this incredibly difficult par 5 on hole 14. All right, this is hole 15. It's 360 feet. The basket is pretty much just straight down this fairway. Incredibly thick rough on the left and right hand side, lots of trees. That's pretty much the name of the game when you play Whitehawk or Blackhawk. So we're going to take this old hooligan thread. This is one of the Lone Star made ones, and I'm just going to rip it down there and hope for the best. Not bad. I got a really good like kick and roll off that tree, so I'm pretty much in the middle of the fairway. well, it should have a pretty decent upshot for the next one. All right, here's my drive. I got a little favorable kick off this tree. You can see the basket just right over there. So I'm gonna take this copperhead and again, just slight forehand up there. Try to get as close. Man, that was very close. Almost threw it in. So we should have a really easy tap in par. All right, we're gonna do a selfie putt. So hole 15. Boop. So that's a par. So this is hole 16. Just like some of the other ones, both Whitehawk and Blackhawk share this pad. It's a 280-foot hole. Again, like I've said in a lot of other holes, it's a tunnel shot straight down this fairway, and then it doglegs right at the end to the left. So you really want to throw something straight through here because, again, there's a 1,000,001 trees to hit. Also, the sign is still out here, I believe from the Oklahoma Open. So shout out to Team Etza. I don't know them. I don't know them personally, but it's cool that they sponsored the tournament, and their sign is still here. So go follow them if you could find them on social media. So I'm gonna throw this Tex just like I threw it on a couple other holes, except I'm gonna put some hyzer on it, and hopefully it'll flatten out and just go straight down this path. That is pretty much what I wanted it to do. Threw it a little low, just trying to keep that hyzer angle on there. It caused me to miss the line a little bit. But straight down the path, skipped a little bit to the left, should be looking somewhat at the basket. All right, so you can see this is where my drive landed. I hit that fairway pretty good. The basket's there, so we have a long look for a birdie. Oh, so close. All right, here's where that putt landed. Tap it in for the easy 3 on hole 16. All right, we've made it to hole 17. This is a par 4, 475. It goes straight down this fairway here, and then once you get past this grouping of trees, it starts slightly doglegging like left center, and then the basket is hidden behind another row of trees. So I'm going to take this Lone Star Nimitz and try to launch it up the middle, turn it over a little bit, and then hopefully have it fade up there with making the second shot a little easier. Cool, that is pretty much how I drew it up in my head, and it turned out the way I wanted it to. So let's go see what we're looking at. All right, so this is where our drive landed. There's 2 different routes to the basket here. You could throw a forehand on this side, or you could throw a hyzer on this side and try to spike it in. I'm gonna go the hyzer route. So I'm going to take this Lone Star Walker. That's an overstable mid-range, and I'm just gonna pump it out there, and hopefully it cuts back for us. Oh, I caught a tree. I don't know if you saw it roll out, but I caught one of the guardian trees, but we should still be able to save par from there. All right, here's where our upshot landed. Basket is just straight ahead. So I'm gonna try to sneak this penny through there. Oh, I got a little too wide and I caught the edge of that tree, but we should be putting for par. All right, this is what we've got left for par. All right, well, we managed to save our par on the par 4 hole 17. We finally made it to hole 18. It's a par 4 500-foot hole. You basically want to go straight down this fairway, and then it doglegs around this hill where the building is to the right, another good couple hundred feet. So kind of a difficult tee shot to get to a good landing spot, but we're going to take this Lone Star curl and try to launch it down there. That is a perfect tee shot for me on this hole. If this was on the old pin location, I would be parked for a birdie. But we should have a look around the corner for our next shot. All right, here's where my drive landed. We got to throw a hyzer shot around this corner, about 200 feet. So our drive is about 300 feet. It'd be about 200 feet to the basket. So I'm going to throw this hyzer around the corner here. Not too bad. That should give us a look at the basket. All right, here's where my upshot landed. As you can see, the basket is just around the corner. It came up a little short. I should have put a little bit more into it, but there's still a chance for us to get this birdie. Oh, just missed it. And a little bit of a roll away to add insult to injury. All right, this is what we're looking at for our putt for par. So we made it through 18 holes of disc golf, playing the Whitehawk layout at Mohawk Park in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hopefully you enjoyed sticking it through with me. I had a lot of fun. See you guys in the next one.